So let's just hop into this conversation, man. I've been talking to a lot of artists, in particularly, because I feel like artists follow their gifts. They go after and chase their gifts. So do you feel like comedy is your gift? Do you feel like that's what you was called to do?
Most definitely. Definitely. It started as a joke, but it became a lifestyle.
It started as a joke. That's funny.
It started as a joke. Believe it or not.
Talk about it.
I lived in Memphis, Tennessee one time, and we went to some open mics. A couple friends of mine, and we were clowning in the back of this one club in Memphis. And the manager was like, "Hey man, shoot, if y'all think y'all can do better, then you get up there."
Right.
You heard that saying before.
Right.
You can do better. You go do it.
Right.
So I was like, "Shit, I'll give this a shot."
Right.
And I wound up winning the open mic that night. So
oh wow,
this literally started as a joke. I was
wow.
like, "I'll get up there and mess around and not really do too much." But I won, so I was like, maybe I'm on to something here.
Right.
I enjoy making people laugh, man, regardless.
That's good.
That's how we came to it.
That's good. So how long ago was that? How long you been doing comedy now?
Man, 15 years plus.
Wow.
But you know, it's one of those things where you go through the ebbs and flows of trying to understand your place in this business.
Right,
and
right.
So I would start, and then for the probably the past 5 or 6 years,
wow.
I'm just like, man, I need to rededicate myself back to what I love doing.
Right.
And here we are.
Right. That's good, man. So like, what would you say to somebody who may be thinking about doing comedy? I mean, with 15 years of experience, man, I mean, what kind of advice would you tell a younger you?
Stay focused.
Okay.
I think that's the first thing. If you really believe in yourself and you believe in your talent, stay focused and be consistent. I think that's the one thing in this business that people have to understand, that it's all about consistency. Once you start doing that, you start doing things on where you're not even thinking about it, it just becomes second nature.
Wow.
Then I think you can really find yourself and find your voice and be you. I think we hear that all the time. Just about being yourself. Don't try to mold yourself after somebody. We watch a lot of comedy. A lot of us watch a lot of comedy, and we find ourselves actually trying to emulate what we see other comics do. Mm-hmm. Don't do that. Right. Just be you. And it's a room enough for everybody.
That's true. That's true. I believe there's an ear for every voice.
Oh, by all means.
And I also want to talk about the fact that you started doing internet content, and a lot of people talk about how different it is doing comedy on stage versus doing comedy online. What has been your experience with that?
It's completely different, in my opinion. It's completely different. Comedy on stage is about interacting with the audience.
Right.
You have that opportunity to hear people laugh, and you have an opportunity to see their facial expressions.
Right.
It's a certain energy and vibe that goes with that. Right. Of course, when the COVID hit, the pandemic started taking over, people had to shift gears.
Right.
So I had to learn to shift to more internet-based comedy via skits, or just trying to throw jokes out there from time to time. But it's so different because you don't get that immediate laughing reaction.
Right.
You don't get that energy from people. You're literally sitting there waiting on likes and hearts. And,
right.
And people that LOL your shit. And that's nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
You literally like, oh man, if you don't get more than 20 likes in 30 minutes, you're like, oh shit.
Right.
Should I posted that?
Right.
That's funny. but you gotta roll with it, because these are the times that we're living in now. So I'm gonna keep pushing with it.
That's good. What has been like the biggest challenge with getting started doing online content? Because I know there's a lot of comedians now that's probably sitting back saying, man, I wish I did some online content, or I need to do some online content. What kind of advice would you give to get them pushed in the right direction, or just to get started?
Just do it.
Just do it.
Just start doing it.
Okay.
And again, it goes back to that word I said earlier, consistency. Mm-hmm. Once you start doing it and you start doing it consistently, then for me, it was a mind switch. It was like, okay, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna try to put out 1 video, 2 videos a week. And then you start feeling like when you're not doing it, then you gotta press yourself.
Right.
And I think you have to put that kind of pressure on yourself to really start being consistent in doing it. So the first step is just take the step.
Right.
Take the step to get out there. We have to understand that this business doesn't matter if you're funny all the time.
Right.
It's just about getting the content out there, and then you will find your voice again.
Right.
So just get on it. Everybody has a platform now.
So do you have like a system for it? Do you look at your content and say, oh, well, if I don't get X amount of likes or comments by a certain time, do you look at it as, oh, I'm going to delete this, or do you still just roll with it?
No, I roll with it.
Okay.
Because it's just like comedy. I was on stage, and we tell jokes that people don't laugh at.
Right.
Sometimes, and you can't, in the midst of doing that, you got to learn how to shift gears.
Right.
And once you learn how to shift gears, and it's about finding that step. Then you keep moving. I don't worry too much about how many likes or views I get now.
Right.
I try to work on the production of the content and try to make sure it's up to what I expect of myself. And after that, I think it'll be fine.
That's
we'll
good.
Keep rolling with it.
That's good. So a couple questions for you, man. Are you full-time comedy or you bivocational? You working too? What's up?
I was full-time comedy, but this pandemic, motherfuckers better get that.
Right.
And so I until I can get back to doing it on stage the way I like to do it, then of course you gotta hold down. Bills don't stop.
Right.
So I do that, but again, it goes back to the online content. I have a YouTube page that I'm trying to build up. Within the past 8-9 months, I went from maybe 20 subscribers on my YouTube because I wasn't using it like that to almost 1,000 now.
Wow.
So to me, it shows the consistency.
Right.
So you just got to keep pressing, and you can get paid off of internet content.
That's
so
good.
I'm gonna focus on that and try to get on stage as much as I can, as safely as I can during this time, and we'll get back to the full-time status.
Right. That's good. That's good. So I use 2020 as a time for reflection. So reflecting back to when the world was open and everything was normal, what was like the highlight of your comedy career? The one thing you're proud of the most from your comedy career?
Shoot, there's not just one thing, to be honest with you, Bill. It's performing.
Okay.
It's being able to get that call. I work with some really good dope comics in this game.
Gotcha.
So getting the call from them and saying, hey, can you come feature for me in XYZ wherever?
Right.
But just being able to have the opportunity to build relationships with comedy clubs, with dope ass comedians that respect you.
Right.
That's always the highlight of what I do. And then you couple that with the fact that you're doing something you love and people after the show tell you that they enjoyed your comedy or you was the best one I saw tonight, man, you can't beat that.
Yeah. There's no better feeling in the world to get off stage and somebody say, man, you was funny. Yo, you was funny. Yo, what's your social media?
But it's even funnier when people sit there and they watch the show intently and there's not really a lot of laughter and they come up, man, you killed it. I was like, what the hell?
Right. Why ain't you laughing?
You was working. Now you tell me after the show we need those laughs during the show, but it's still that they were. Sometimes we get so caught up in it being quiet.
Right.
That we think people are not intent, they're not listening.
Yeah.
No, they listening.
Yeah.
They listening, especially in those moments.
Right. That's true. Now that leads me to my next question. Would you say that because you talked about you tiptoed around it, networking? So would you say that networking is a big part of the business of being a comedian?
It is a huge part of being in this business. Not only do you have to have the right content, and you have to be you, and you have to do everything that makes people laugh at these comedy clubs. You have to network with other comedians in the business and entertainers in the business, because those are how you get in those other avenues or those other comedy clubs that you may not be able to get into if you were just to walk to the door.
Right.
It's all about vouching.
Right.
A lot of this is hey, yeah, I know that dude, or I know her, and I know they do good work. They show up on time. They're about their business.
Right.
That's how you get in a lot of these clubs, and it's due to networking. So by all means.
And that's good, because what I see just from working with artists and entertainers, I see some people don't look at their art as a business. And what happens is when you have a business, you have different components of a business. So like if I was to open up a restaurant, not only do I have to cook food, I got to sell the food, but then I also have to market the business to let people know that my food even exists. And I feel like some comedians and artists in general kind of miss that, because they don't realize that it's more to doing comedy than just getting on stage and doing comedy. Like now you have to be the person who package yourself up and market yourself to get yourself out there to even get those bookings. So would you say that that's been a biggest part of your journey as well?
By all means.
Okay.
We are in a customer service driven industry.
Right.
We may not be serving food, we may not be a waiter, we may not be the cook in the back, but we are in a customer service business. And our service is laughter.
Right.
So I think you have to focus on all the things that you said, you just spoke of, plus interacting with the audience after. I know a lot of comedians that feel like they shouldn't have to do that. I just made you laugh, pay me, and I'm out.
Right.
You're not building a business. You're not building a brand. You're not getting people to feel like they're a part of your journey.
Right.
And I think that's super important in this day is to make people feel like they are a part of your journey.
Wow.
Once they feel that way, oh man, you can sell them a toothpick,
Right.
and they'll buy it.
Got you. That's good. Now, do you set goals for yourself, such as I'm gonna go out today? Let's just say it's a regular day for you. Maybe you're going to work, or maybe you're going to the gym. I know we see each other at the gym. So do you ever set a goal where you say, you know what, I'm gonna get me 3 new YouTube subscribers today?
By all means.
Do you just walk up to strangers and say, hey man, you got YouTube?
I started doing that. I haven't been out as much lately, but I started doing that when I was at the gym, or I'd be out and about at the grocery store. I mean, you have to, because you're selling yourself. You're trying to build a brand. And that's the thing here, we're building brands.
Right.
If you're trying to build a brand, McDonald's don't stop promoting commercials, and you know their brand when you see it.
Yep.
We are trying to get to that level where people know us when they see us.
Yep.
And the only way we're gonna do that right now is to promote yourself.
Right.
But the key is now, when you promote yourself, make sure that your product matches everything that you out there promoting.
Right.
Because you can lose people real quick when they
That's
go,
true.
oh man, that ain't as funny as I thought it
Right.
was gonna be, or this person's not on their business
Right.
like I thought that they were.
Right.
Their website sucks.
Right.
Their YouTube sucks. So you can lose people real quick, because
That's
everything is word of mouth.
That's true. That's true. Now, let's talk about some not so good moments. What would some moments you're maybe not proud of in your comedy career?
Oh man, I bombed several times.
Okay, okay.
And that's part of growth.
Okay.
I thought I knew it all.
Okay.
There was one time in particular, I will never forget this set. That my barber in Atlanta, John King, shout out to John King when I had hair.
Yeah, John King.
He cut me up. He had a show, a big show. It was like for one of those hair shows in Atlanta. You know, there are thousands of people that show up at those shows. I thought I knew it all. I was like, I'm gonna just go up there. I'm gonna just wing it. And this was like early on in my comedy career. I don't have to write. I don't have to think about this. I'm gonna go up there. I'm gonna just start talking.
Right.
Nah. Like 5 minutes into the set.
Right.
And I'm sitting in front of maybe 1,500 people, standing in front of 1,500 people.
Ooh.
And a dude started heckling me from like the second row. And the lights were so bright, I couldn't even see him. So
Yikes.
now I'm trying to figure out how to come back to somebody I can't even see. And I'm bombing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dog.
Yeah.
That was one of them shows where it was an awakening. That was the first time I ever cried about doing comedy. And I mean real tears.
Wow.
I had the Beijing.
Was the Beijing dripping? Was it dripping?
It was coming down. It was a complete disaster. I went to the back of the stage, washed all that stuff out of my hair, and walked around like a regular patient after that.
My man said,
I sold it off to somebody else. But it was a life lesson.
Oh,
it was a life lesson.
that-
How bad do you really want to do this? You
That is
cannot leave
hilarious.
this.
That is hilarious.
So there it is.
But you know, that's to me, that's encouraging, because you know, even though we can laugh at that and say, man, you know, we got to embrace those moments, because in any business, you're going to deal with ups and downs, and we got to be able to know that when we deal with the downs, that's going to test and let you know whether this is really what you want to do or not. You know, and the fact that you're still doing it, you press forward, because some people at the first sight of failure, they're ready to quit. You know, and I don't believe that anything fails. I believe, you know, it's people that quit. You know, no relationship fails. People quit, you know. So for you to have been doing it this long and still doing it, you obviously are doing something right. You obviously love it. It's obviously your passion. So how can people find you and subscribe to your YouTube channel? Let people know.
YouTube.com / I think it's comedian Carlos A, a small A on there. You can find me there. I am on Instagram, comedian Carlos, very simple. I was on Facebook. I got on Facebook. Now I'm trickling back. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Don't count on my Facebook page. they keep banning me on Facebook. So.
Yeah.
But Instagram, comedian Carlos. YouTube, definitely / comedian Carlos A on YouTube. That's where you can find me.
That's what's up, man. Hey, I appreciate you taking the time to sit down and talk to me, man.
Always a
Appreciate
pleasure,
it.
man. We have good conversations online. I'm gonna
Yes,
get
sir.
into this club. We're gonna do some business. But y'all better make sure y'all check out Extreme Comedy Club when y'all in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
He's got it down pat.
Yeah. Appreciate that, man.
On YouTube, hit that subscribe button, hit the like, then the bell for notifications, then share it with a friend. And as always, thank you for your support.